Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared with
Brian Held.
Brian Held, how the heck are you, buckaroo?
Oh, man, I'm great. You know, I'm happy to announce that we have a new sponsor, Dave.
Yes, we do. Bad Wolf Bar.
Yeah, the Bad Wolf Bar and Grill out in Gretna are our new sponsors, and we welcome them to the family. They're over at 2010 O'Connor Street in Gretna. And a great time to be had. They've been adding more games to their lineup, so you can go have a beer and play some games and hang out and have a good time. So it's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's lay out the show. We'll open up the show like we always do with top nerd news. Then we have our boy Skungy with his pick of the week and a little bit of Overwatch news. And then Brian, tell us about our guest.
All right, well, our guest is Anjali Bhimani, who is the voice of Symmetra in Overwatch.
Oh.
And she is a very accomplished actress of both stage and screen. And also, she will be at Mechacon next week, where we're going to be.
We are!
Yeah, so that's July 27th through 29th at the Hyatt Regency in New Orleans, right by the Dome. Great anime convention. It's been running for a number of years. A huge turnout every year. So come and join us. We're going to have plenty of free stuff from our sponsors. So stop by and say hi.
There's always that. And then we'll close out the show like we always do with This Week in Geek History. But first... And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right, Brian, what's topping us off? Dealer's choice, buckaroo.
Oh, man. Well, I think that some of the biggest news, of course, San Diego Comic-Con has been running since Thursday, and there's so much news coming out of it, but we got to cover some nasty stuff first.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So,
well, let's do that first.
Yeah, let's get it out of the gate. Of course, James Gunn was fired from Disney from his directing duties for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 over commentary that he made about 10 years ago, very nasty comments that he made on Twitter. But he did apologize. Back in 2012, he apologized for those comments and has
he apologized 5 years ago.
Yes. And he has moved forward, turned a new leaf, as it were, and has not perpetrated that behavior since then. Mm-hmm. And some individuals out there, we're not going to dig too deep into it because it's politics. But
didn't it pop back up because he tweeted something out there again, not dissimilar from the past tweets?
No.
No?
No. What it was is he's dipping his toe into the political arena. And some people on that side of politics that he was railing against went and dug up that stuff to say, hey, look, you know, you're saying this stuff about us. You said this stuff in the back then.
Yeah, right.
And so Disney kind of was like, we can't mess around with that. And they canned him.
Wow.
Yes. But there's a lot of people who are coming to his defense. In fact, there's a change.org petition for Disney to reinstate him. I just checked a minute ago. It's at 115,000 signatures.
Man, I speak from actual experience. Typically, when a company makes a decision like that, they usually don't go back on it.
True. The question is, when are you able to move past your transgressions? Right? If you're honestly contrite and you've apologized, right? When do you become reformed, or will you always have that scarlet letter attached to you? Right? Because I was amused on Twitter, some folks was like, hey, Disney, hypocritical much? And they posted pictures of like Song of the South and, Peter Pan with the Indians and things like that.
Right.
So it's not as if Disney itself hasn't kind of
been tone deaf.
Right. Well, back in the day.
Right.
You know, they have moved past that. Surely James Gunn can move past it.
Yeah. Good Lord. This It's crazy to me because, like, you know, we don't talk sports much either, but, you know, in the All-Star game, somebody tweeted out something about like 8-9 years ago that had racial overtones, and that was all they talked about.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I guess the good rule of thumb is like, don't send nudes and don't tweet or post something that could come back to haunt you.
Pretty much.
There you go. We all learned something today. Thank you, James Gunn.
There you go. So
remove your nudies.
Yes.
Right. Looking at you, Brian.
I've never posted anything like that.
I know. You send them to me all the time. It's very off-putting.
Where do you want to go? Which trailer do you want to cover? Because there's a bunch that have been released.
All right. You shocked me when you said that this was one of your favorites thus far. And in a shocking turn of events also, typically when I'm editing trailers for audio content,
right,
there's usually a lot of music and sound effects and things like that.
Before you hit play, I just want to say a bunch of these are going to be DC related.
I know.
And DC has put to bed its DC Extended Universe and rebranded itself the Worlds of DC.
Okay, if I had a cricket sound effect, I'd play that now.
Well, I mean, I can see them wanting to get away from that whole DCEU.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Okay.
So I just wanted to kind of lay that out before we started in. All right.
Poor DC. I don't know. It looks like they're making a turn, though. So this is Aquaman. It's about a minute and a half long. But here, take a listen.
My father was a lighthouse keeper. My mother was a queen. But life is a way of bringing people together.
We could unite our worlds one day.
Check it out. Arthur is talking to the fish.
I've been looking for you. Your half-brother, King Orm, is about to declare war upon the surface world.
The only way to stop this war is for you to take your rightful place as king.
Trust me, I am no king.
You do your best thinking when you're not thinking at all.
That was the worst pep talk ever.
My brother has come from the surface to challenge me for the throne.
I call it an ass whooping. I'm no leader. I came because I had no choice. I came to save my home and the people that I love.
You think you're unworthy to lead because you're of two different worlds. That is exactly why you are worthy.
That was awesome.
The war is coming to the surface, and I'm bringing the wrath of the seven seas with me.
Dressed like a bat. I dig it.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that we see a great number of things here, right? We see the potential for a lot of character development. There's a lot of great action. There's some humor in there. I think it's all the elements of a great movie. I'm kind of excited to see it.
I think they finally did something with a character that actually correlated with the first rendition of it when he first showed up in Justice League, where it's just kind of like, I wasn't 100% sure if I liked him in that movie,
right.
But now that he's a full-fledged character leading it, I think that character that he played in Justice League is the perfect fit for this Aquaman, where he's not just this tool riding around on a giant seahorse talking to fish.
Right.
And I can get behind this iteration of Aquaman. I'm digging it, man.
Well, and, you know, if only we would have had this before Justice League.
You know, I was literally thinking of that while this was playing, too, because honestly, think about it, though. They always lead off with Batman. They always lead off with Superman because the mythology is kind of set. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about the entirety of the Aquaman, you know, pantheon or whatever.
Right.
You know, I am glad that Manta Ray's head doesn't look abnormally stupid.
Okay.
So I am glad with how that looks. But I mean, as far as, you know, they always lead with Batman because people know him.
Yeah.
And so I think we got that introduction in Justice League, and I think this will actually be a better way to introduce and carry the movie. So this movie's actually probably going to be pretty damn good, man.
Yeah. Well, what did you think about Shazam?
Here, I'll tell you what I thought.
Hello?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Are you for real?
Say, okay!
Shazam?
This means Billy!
What is happening?
You're the only person I know that knows anything about this Cape Crusader stuff.
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
Shazam! You have bullet immunity!
I'm bulletproof.
You're dead.
Sorry about your window, but you're welcome for not getting robbed. Oh, hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
What's up, ladies?
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's like Tom Hanks could have pulled this off like Big.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Big with superpowers.
Big meets Superman is essentially, I think, what this is.
I almost feel as if these are the movies DC probably should have led with, maybe.
Yes.
I mean, looking back now, I mean, it seems like they figured dark and gritty and brooding doesn't work anymore.
Well,
I mean, they still can't figure out how to do Superman. He's a Boy Scout. It's not hard. He's a Boy Scout.
Right. And I think that you can do dark and gritty like Christopher Nolan did with the Batman trilogy. I mean, that was perfect. But what they did with Superman, you're right. He's a Boy Scout, and they should have kept it that way. What we got with Christopher Reeves. So
right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm liking where they're going with this. Look, we have a Titans trailer. We have a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them trailer. What are your thoughts on Fantastic Beasts and 2 with the Grindelwald?
I think it's good, man. I'm excited. I think that we're going to see. In fact, Paul Marchiafava, our merchandise guy, he and I were talking earlier, and I think we're going to see some sort of explanation about how Dumbledore actually got the Elder Wand.
Yeah, because at the end you meet Nicholas Flamel with the Sorcerer's Stone. That's right. I kept that in that trailer at the very end where he shakes it.
Well, and you do see the Elder Wand in.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's in the trailer. Very briefly, Grindelwald's holding it while he's on that carriage with all the undead horse-looking things.
Oh, yeah. Are you sure?
I am absolutely 100% positive.
Some random-ass wand?
No.
All right, Titans. That seems to be the one that you don't like.
Yeah, okay, so that trailer dropped, and it just looked terrible. And in my ever-so-humble opinion, I don't know what to say. I mean, Robin, cursing about Batman.
Yeah,
Batman, right? And Beast and Starfire, and it's once again, you were saying a minute ago, I don't think DC knows how to do dark and gritty very well. This whole thing looks very dark and gritty.
Right.
And I don't know, just the costumes look terrible, the characterizations look terrible from what I've seen.
I don't think the casting fits well for Robin. I mean, it almost looks like he's more Nightwing than Robin.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like a total a-hole, man.
I mean,
I can't get behind him if he's going to be that much of a jerk.
Right. And I will check it out when it drops just so that we can have some commentary on it, but I'm not terribly excited to see it, to be honest.
All righty then.
The actress Diop, who is portraying Starfire, actually just disabled her comments on Instagram, on her social media. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the trailer, she didn't look too Party City-ish. I mean, she didn't look too bad. I mean, they put all the CGI on her, so if she looks like that the whole time, well then yeah, okay. But if they have her looking like a streetwalker out of Party City, then no, I can't get behind it.
It looks better. I still don't think it's a good look of Starfire, like just all told, right? So I don't know. We'll see when it drops. Anything else?
I wanted to talk about Buffy. I don't know. We got to go to Skungy though. It's running late.
Yeah.
But do you want to get into it though?
Well, the
reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Actually, there's another technically reboot with Wonder Woman 1984.
Reboots?
So
don't talk to me about reboots.
Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, and Chris Pine were on stage. The trailer will post that to our Facebook page later. I'm sorry, not the trailer, but the panel from San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
And basically they're saying that this is going to be a unique story of Wonder Woman set in the 80s, and that it doesn't necessarily connect to the previous movie, which I think is ridiculous, right? Because when you're talking about products that you're putting out there and the inclusivity of getting everybody on board to watch it, right? I think that you're going to confuse the average moviegoer to be like, well, I saw her in World War I in the first movie, and then this should follow up. It's gonna be crazy. What?
I thought you said should. I thought you said this should follow up. I thought you said the bad word.
Oh no!
I flinched. That's why I twitched.
No.
I was about to hit the dump button on you.
No.
Enunciate, please.
It should follow that this is the second movie in this series for Wonder Woman, but that's not what apparently they're saying, and I'm very confused. And I think that the average moviegoer will be even more confused.
The average moviegoer is a moron.
Well, but with Chris Pine being back in it...
People are in their car right here nodding their head.
Yeah, right.
It's not like I'm wrong.
Okay, that's fair.
But, I mean, we don't know completely yet, do we? I mean, they were saying is just that they were kind of just... I think they're being cagey on top of all this, though, too. But is Chris Pine back?
Yes.
So in 1984, he's still alive?
I don't know. Look, they're
only... It's a comic book movie. How could I even ask that?
Right, exactly.
Oh.
They're 3.5 weeks into filming.
There's an air bubble in the cockpit.
Right. They've got 20 weeks of filming left, so I'm sure we're going to see some more news. But
Zeus pulled them out at the last minute.
As of this moment, I'm confused. Buffy is apparently getting rebooted. Joss Whedon is back on board, and fans are not happy.
Why?
Well, because it's going to be all new casting.
Is Christy Swanson going to be in it? Can she be in it?
Probably not.
She can be your mom.
No, they're probably not going to have any of the original people that were in it, or if they do,
talking about
they're
the movie. Christy Swanson wasn't in it.
Right. Well, no, then definitely not. But yeah,
what about Jason Priestley? We can bring him back.
No.
All right. So he wants to retell the story. He wants to just start it over.
Essentially, yeah. They want to go back at it and say, all right, we're going to take that whole universe and start telling new stories again in that space. And
what's wrong with that? It's his story. It's his world.
Sure, but why? You know how many properties that we have waiting in the wings that would be entertaining?
Who cares?
What do you mean who cares?
Buffy is a proven commodity. It's got legs. It spun off Angel. I mean, it's got legs. We all know Whedon can tell stories. Look, your dear and lovely wife is an author. I am a very pseudo-author. And when you write a story, once you go down that rabbit hole and you go somewhere with a story and you make decisions for those characters, you can't take them back.
Right.
So let's just say, and I'm probably spot on with this, is that he probably made decisions with his characters and is also working with the networks, probably made decisions with his characters that he probably either A, wants to take back, wouldn't have gone that way, and would tell a completely different story. So I got no problem with this, because it's not really a reboot if it's your property and you're going to retell the story again. It's not the reboot that you and I are always angry about, where they're taking just stupid crap off the trash heap of history, where it's like, hey, let's do the Three Musketeers again. Hey, let's not. Okay? You and I are on the same page on that.
Right.
I don't think we're on the same page on this one, though.
Look, if Joss Whedon is going to reboot anything, he should put his energy into friggin' Firefly.
Oh, my
right?
God. That's not going to happen. We all know.
Well, it should. Because Buffy doesn't need to happen.
He has to wait till Sarah Michelle Gellar is no longer like smoking ass hot, which she's not, so now he can reboot it. Don't die on me in there.
Look,
Malcolm, what's his real name? I was about to call him
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Malcolm, right?
Yes.
I said, Nathan Fillion's still, a good-looking dude. I was about to say smoking hot. He's not smoking hot, but he's a good-looking dude, and he's not using a walker yet, so he can't reboot Firefly yet. He has to be decrepit-looking, like Nicholas Flamel decrepit-looking. All right? You see what I did there?
I did.
Bring it all the way back. Let's go to break.
All right, man. Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to talk to our boy Skungy, and here is Pick of the Week. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Boldly going where no bar has gone before. The Bad Wolf is a bar, restaurant, and game shop all in one. You can't beat our specialty drinks, fresh food, and a variety of RPGs, board games, and miniature games for sale or rent. Stop by and hang out, or attend one of our regularly scheduled events, all in a non-smoking environment. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill is located at 2010 O'Connor Street in Gretna, or find us at badwolfbar.com. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill, where everybody knows your game. You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Mata Hari, Agent H21, is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
This is the Week in Geek with D Squared and Brian Held.
Outstanding.
Miss any of today's show? Download the Geek podcast at WRNO.com. Here are your hosts, D Squared and Brian Held.
Welcome back into the Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is D Squared with
Brian Held.
Now, Brian, that was a very interesting conversation we just had, and I feel like I didn't get overly angry for once.
Yeah, I'm
Shockingly
surprised.
enough, I know I don't feel that vein in my forehead right now. But you know what? I bet it's about to pop out now.
Oh, come on.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Skungy, what's shaking, bacon?
What's going on, gentlemen? And Dave, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Reboot, a no-go.
Thank you, Skungy.
Nobody asked you. Talk about video games. Jesus. I want to hear from Brian Held's dear and lovely wife, because I know I'm on to something. Ask Kimberly B. Richardson.
I will.
I know I'm on something.
I will ask
I'm
them.
not on something, but shut up. All right, Skungy, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Vampyr, or Vampyr.
Vampyr?
Yeah, Vampyr?
Is it Vampyr? Yes.
Yeah, it's spelled Vampyr.
All right.
Oh, that's the Transylvania spelling.
Right.
It's fancy. So, this is a game that's set in London in 1918, right after the First World War.
Ooh.
They have, you're playing this doctor, Jonathan Reed, who has recently been turned into a vampire.
Oh.
Okay.
Poor guy.
So it's, like I said, it's set in London, and it's got this really dark, gothic, gritty kind of feel to it, because
like a
there's
DC movie.
Yeah, it's got this plague that's terrorizing, a Spanish flu is terrorizing London. So, well, you're this doctor who becomes infected, and you're trying to find out who infected you. Now,
Okay.
it's got
You
this
find a
great-
patient zero?
Well,
it's kind of like, it's not necessarily patient zero, because you're just trying to find out what happened to you, but vampirism isn't like rampant. You're more trying to find the cure for the disease
Right. So,
of the Spanish flu.
So, Skungy, are you trying to find you've been infected with Spanish flu or the vampirism? Which
the
one?
Vampirism.
Okay, the vampire. Gotcha. All right. Okay.
Right. So you're playing a doctor, and what makes this game really cool is your interaction. It's an action RPG is the best way to describe it. Your interaction with the citizens of the city. All these people, you're going to talk to them, you're going to go on quest, and you're going to, unlock different dialogue trees. The way that you get experience points, other than combat, is actually killing the citizens.
Yeah! All right!
So, by doing quests for them, like talking to somebody and doing quests, you unlock trees, and their blood potency basically rises, so you get more experience. So you're basically fattening up your dinner.
Interesting.
By doing tasks for them. And if you do more tasks, you'll get more experience if you decide to eat them. Now, you don't have to eat them. The game has this thing about a difficulty level where you will get less experience if you don't kill people. So it therefore makes the game a little bit harder.
All right.
Because you won't level up as fast. You won't unlock as many abilities that'll help you in combat, which, like, you're not going to get as much, you're not going to have as much health or as much stamina or anything as you would if you decided to I'm just going to kill everybody. But if you kill somebody, you're not going to be able to do any more quests that person would have. And it also has consequences in the world of, how people look at you, people get terrified, and it'll change the story.
All right. So it sounds like there's a ton of replayability if you would replay and, eat certain people and not eat others in each retelling, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's like, so, and some of these people, they make it like, when I was playing through, there was a guy, like, I'm trying to be like kind of a pacifist when I'm playing it, but there's this guy, one quest, and I'm like, I really just want to eat this guy. He is such a prick. I'm like, you need to die.
All right. So did you eat him?
But that's the cool thing about the storytelling with it. I mean, all of these characters, and I'm talking dialogue trees. It's not dialogue trees, man. It's dialogue forest.
Nice.
All right. There's so many different options when you're talking to people, and each one is unique. Great voice acting and a really engaging story that starts off a little slow, but it really starts to ramp up, and it's very, very intriguing.
All right. No, so I guess the question, though, Skungy, is did you eat the jerk character?
Oh, I ate him.
Okay.
I ate him with pleasure.
All right.
But, and the gameplay, the action is kind of, that's where the game kind of falls a little bit. It's kind of your standard hack and slash, hack, slash, dodge, but you get some really cool abilities, and it's, help eating people does help, so you get these really cool abilities that you're able to unlock later on. So it's kind of, you've got checks and balances, but it seems it can get a little repetitive with the action, but the story and the dialogue trees are worth going through that.
All right, so I would imagine that the combat, doesn't necessarily have to be spectacular if it's a really engaging story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
absolutely.
exactly. Like, what if Buffy didn't kill that vampire?
Oh, stop.
And then an entirely new angel appears. You have no idea.
Stop.
All the stories that could be told.
All right.
By Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Price and platform,
The Hellmouth
Skungy.
is closed, Dave. Get over it.
How much? Price and platform.
It's on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and it's $59.99. And it is single player only, so there's no multiplayer to it or anything like that, and there's no season pass or stuff like that.
That means Dave can play.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Are you up on the Overwatch League, sir?
Man, I mean, talk about, this is like a Cinderella story. The 5 and 6 seed going for the championship.
Yes, completely destroyed. Right.
I mean, you would have thought that. I mean, everybody thought that New York was going to just trample everybody because they've been so dominant all year long.
And they got absolutely choked. It was brutal. That first game of the series on Wednesday when it was 3-0 was incredible. Philadelphia just absolutely shut them down. And both nights, Friday and Saturday night, the 5th and 6th seed teams shut out the 1st and 2nd seed teams in their first game.
I missed the first game, and I turned on Disney XD and I watched Wander Over Yonder for a couple of hours.
Right.
It's a great show.
But, I mean, I think it's absolutely incredible. definitely edge of your seat type stuff. I was surprisingly engaged at this sporting
You're not engaged,
activity.
you're already married.
No, stop. So I guess the real question that I want to ask both of you is let's make some staff picks for the championship next week. Philadelphia Fusion, London Spitfire, Skungy. Who's going to take it?
I'm looking at the Philadelphia. I'm thinking like the lowest seed in the wild card is going to take it, like the Giants did that year.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
I'm going Philly too. Yeah.
And I have to go Philly as well, just because of their dominating gameplay. It's been incredible, and
they've been on a roll. I mean, they've been on a roll. I mean, I had Preston Byers from .esports.com on my other show, and look, I mean, it's very similar to football. When they got that first round bye, they didn't have momentum going into the offseason, and it's the same thing. That New York Excelsior and the Valiant didn't have that extra time and that momentum going into the playoffs. They just sat there. Now, they should have crushed them, but they didn't, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Well,
at least we know it's not rigged.
Right.
Yeah, they had a big break in between, like, the final game of the season and the playoffs. So, like you said, that they had more time to work on that momentum. So it just seemed like, that New York was kind of cold. They just seemed like they were, just... Yeah.
All right. Well, Skungy, thank you so much. We have to get to a break, so we will talk to you next week.
# no reboots.
There you go.
Shut up. You're
Love
fired.
It.
Get out. I'm turning him down. No, see, I'm done.
All right.
I'm not going to hear his response.
Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to have our interview with Miss Anjali Bhimani, the voice of Symmetra in Overwatch. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Boldly going where no bar has gone before. The Bad Wolf is a bar, restaurant, and game shop all in one. You can't beat our specialty drinks, fresh food, and a variety of RPGs, board games, and miniature games for sale or rent. Stop by and hang out or attend one of our regularly scheduled events, all in a non-smoking environment. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill is located at 2010 O'Connor Street in Gretna, or find us at badwolfbar.com. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill, where everybody knows your game. Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktieTans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Now, back to the Week in Geek with local celebrity Brian Held, hashtag LCBH. Here are your hosts, local celebrity Brian Held, and that other guy, what's his name again?
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek Radio Show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, and I am joined by accomplished actress of both stage and screen, and also a voice actress, Miss Anjali Bhimani. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and you just pronounced my name so extra well.
Oh.
Like you actually get an A+, not just an A, for getting the je in there. You gave me an Anjali, like a français, comme le français, le stinky perfume from France.
Well, we're from New Orleans down here, all the French stuff.
That is true. That is very true. You have a little bit of a leg up.
Right.
But yeah. How are you doing?
Oh, we're great. And of course, you right now we're pre-recording this interview. You are in San Diego getting ready for San Diego Comic-Con right now, right?
Yes, I sure am. In fact, I'm blessed to be in a hotel right across, looking over the convention center right now, and I'm seeing everybody getting ready, and it's really, really, it's an exciting week to come.
Awesome. So it's very unique. You have this experience that goes across the industry that probably most people don't get. You've been on stage, you've done plays, and you are both in movies and TV, and then you're doing the voice acting stuff. I'm sure it gives you a leg up over average actors, right?
I mean, I don't know if it gives me a leg up. I know that for me personally, it makes me happier. I've been very, very blessed that people have allowed me to do this in so many different lanes, because acting in general, whether you are acting on stage or you are voice acting or you are acting on a television show, it's all acting. Voice acting is still acting. You just happen to be distilling it down to using your voice and not necessarily the rest of your instrument. So it's just been a really wonderful, wild ride. And I find that one thing very much feeds the other, which is a really great thing. Whenever I feel like I'm being fulfilled in one lane, I feel like the rest of my performing, kind of the bar is raised.
Right.
It's like going to the gym. It's like if you're actually working, work begets work, and artistry begets artistry, and you keep the more I do, the more fun I have.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm really lucky.
Oh yeah. Now, one of the voice roles that you are most recently known for, of course, is Symmetra in Overwatch.
Yeah.
Overwatch is blowing up so much, especially with the Overwatch League. How's that experience been for you?
I mean, it's been beyond compare. It's certainly something that I never expected, nor do I think any of those of us who were involved with it, including the folks at Blizzard, really expected this game to be. I knew when I auditioned, and certainly when I first recorded, that Blizzard doesn't do anything half-ass. Everything that they do is amazing. It's high quality. It's engaging. The stories are fun. The characters are fun. So I knew that it was already going to be amazing. I had no idea that it was going to be this well received. And then just getting to see and hear the reactions and the effect that playing this game has had on a lot of people, whether it's just as entertainment that they love, or something that they've used to help them through tough times, or my personal favorite, people being able to see a hero that they identify with in a way that they may not have had a hero like that before, whether because of their personal background or their gender or their size or their shape or their sexual preferences, all sorts of things. Every character has so many different layers to them and so many different aspects to identify with, that I feel like people can see the hero in themselves because they're playing heroes that are like themselves.
Right.
And that's huge.
Oh, absolutely. And I can tell you that I've been on board since day one. I got my collector's edition when it was available.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Now, are you following up with the Overwatch League? Do you have a favorite team out there?
Yeah. I mean, I am Switzerland. I am neutral. because for many, many reasons, but not the least of which is I'm just pretty blown away by everything that these teams are doing. I also, admittedly, and this is not a secret to anyone who either knows me or has heard me talk about it, I am very bad at the game. Okay. I don't play a ton, and when I do play, I embarrass myself. So I am amazed that people can do anything nearly with the skill that these guys do. And we went down, a few of us have gone down to Overwatch League in Burbank and gone down to the studios in Burbank to go and support and watch the games, and it's just so much fun. So no, I don't. I want to support all the teams. Although I also want to say, like, hey, I'll probably like the team most that actually plays Symmetra. Because she hasn't gotten a whole lot of love in this league, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
I'm joking, of course. But yeah, no, it's another phenomenon that I'm just blown away by, completely blown away.
Speaking of games, because this is really interesting. You know, as a creator, and we're creators as well over here at the Week in Geek radio show, it's hard to spend time playing the games. Like you said, you don't get to play much.
Yes. Just like as a person who's doing theater, it's hard to get out to see the theater because you're doing 8 shows a week. Or as a person who's on TV, if you're shooting all the time, getting home, you don't necessarily want to watch TV. It's definitely hard to be a consumer at the same time as you are a creator, but it's also such a necessary thing to do just to understand, you know, for me, just to understand the experience of it from an audience perspective.
Well,
or a participant's perspective.
Right. Well, but you had a recent project that you got to do both, and I'm talking about We're Alive Frontier, which, you know, I looked up your information. I was researching about projects you're working on, and I didn't realize that this had come out because I listened to the podcast when it came out originally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is news to me. And so for folks who don't know, We're Alive was a podcast about a zombie apocalypse, and then the We're Alive Frontier is the role-playing game production that Geek and Sundry did on Alpha. So tell us about that experience.
It was, I mean, again, like, completely unexpected. When I was a kid, I played Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Started playing when I was 8, was really, really into it for a very long time. And it was so integral to my childhood in so many ways. And so I love role-playing games and I love story games. And then I switched to, you know, gaming on the computer and stuff. And then I just kind of put down the gaming for a while until coming back to attempting to pick it back up with Overwatch. So going back to straight up tabletop role-playing games for me was already something that I was excited about and nervous about because I haven't done it in so long. But combining that with performing, I like to say that this show is what it would happen if Critical Role and The Walking Dead had a baby, would be this show. And it's been a performing experience that I was not expecting to be as wildly fulfilling and artistically, you know, as an actor, even though you're actually playing a game, artistically it's been really special. And I think that people who play role-playing games regularly can certainly attest to this, that you fall into the universe and you're living with this character and you're making choices as this character. And so it's more than just reading a script, and it's more than just recreating something or bringing something to life that someone else has written. It really is a part of you. And the cast is just phenomenal. I mean, we all still text every day. We have a text thread among all of us. Our GM is beyond compare. In fact, he's going to be out here at our booth for SACC with us. His name is Ivan Van Norman. And Casey Wayland, who created We're Alive, the podcast, or the I guess you would call it the play. I don't know what we call it these days. We don't call them radio plays. So I guess the podcast.
All right.
But he was definitely part of the creating of this as well, because we're using the Outbreak Undead gameplay system, which is separate from We're Alive, but we're using the storyline and background from We're Alive.
All right.
So combining those two. So essentially, We're Alive Frontier is, if I'm not mistaken, about 20 years after Day Zero.
Okay.
So now people are attempting to push back the infected, and essentially the frontier is where these characters are. But yeah, it's just been something so, so dear to my heart, and I've been trying to share it with as many people as I can. I love these characters. I love these actors. The way the story unfolds in the first season was so perfectly, but you absolutely could not have planned it and could not have written it the way that it came out.
And it's all improv on your guys' part, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, entirely. Nothing is planned. In fact, very purposefully, especially for me, when some people would try to tell me, hey, I think maybe, like we'd take a, bathroom break or whatever. Because we shot over the course of 4 days, 12 hours a day, essentially nonstop, except for super quick breaks to run out and use the restroom and grab a quick snack. So occasionally you'd have a chance to talk and someone might be like, hey, I think I'm going to do it. And I'm like, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Right.
I don't want to know. I want this to be in the moment. I want these to be real reactions.
No, that's great.
And we really, I can't speak more highly of the experience, or more highly of the actors, more highly of the people behind the scenes. Oh my goodness, we have so many people, everybody behind the scenes was just phenomenal. I'm really, really proud of it. I hope everybody heads over to Project Alpha and checks it out, because it's really one of my favorite on-screen experiences of all time.
Good deal.
We really have had just a special, special, special time.
Awesome. Now, we are getting close to a commercial break. One of the things that I did want to talk to you about is your appearance at Mechacon this July 27th.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So is this your first time coming to New Orleans?
It is not. I was down there to shoot a pilot a few years ago, a pilot for a show called Common Law. And so I came out and they had a fitting on Friday, so I had the whole weekend to go explore, which was amazing. And I was kind of on my own other than with the other actors. So I met up with friends of friends and they took me around and I stuffed my face full of beignets. I went all over the place. We even drove down to the Lower Ninth Ward and got some, information about what was still going on there with the rebuilding and everything. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to being back. And I'm really looking forward to stuffing my face with beignets again.
Nice.
So really, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, pretty much I'm expecting to be at the convention all weekend and not necessarily having time to get out. But I'm super excited because this is my chance to meet the people.
Yeah, definitely. Now,
which is my favorite thing about doing conventions.
Do you have a schedule yet?
I don't actually think I do, but I know I'm there all the days and I know I'm going to be doing panels and I'm sure everything will be up there on the website. But I am coming in hot right as it starts, hopefully right when they start. And I will definitely be, if anyone wants to know where I am or what my hours are or anything, whatever information I have will definitely be on my Twitter feed when I'm at the table and, when I'm doing pictures and when I'm doing panels and all of that stuff. I will do my best to keep up on that.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to you being at Mechacon. That's, of course, this July 27th through 29th at the Hyatt Regency in New Orleans. And you bring up a very good point. You mentioned Twitter. How can folks find out about not only Mechacon, but the projects that you're working on out on social media?
I am very easy to find. Obviously, you can always use Google. I am so easily searchable on Google. All of my stuff is up there. But also, almost all of my social media is at Sweet Anj with 3 E's. So it's S as in Sam, WEEETANJ. And you can find me there for Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, my fan page is just my name, Anjali Bhimani. And please, yes, I say hi, send me tweets.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us today. And we look forward to seeing you at Mechacon.
Yes, I can't wait to see you in New Orleans. I'm very, very excited. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Mata Hari, Agent H21 is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
My name is Optimus Prime, and you are listening to The Week in Geek. Autobots, transform and roll out!
Welcome back into The Week in Geek. Now, as always, we want to strongly urge you to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio, and the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, our show originates off of Spreaker.com. That's where the podcast comes from. You can always go to the website or download it for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify.
So you use different verbiage and you screwed yourself up,
No.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
What? I can think for a moment.
Yeah, sure. Here we go.
This week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future!
Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Wow. All right, do it fast. We only got like 4 minutes.
All right. On July 16th, 2004. Directed by Alex Proyas, starring Will Smith, Bridget Moynihan, Chi McBride, Alan Tudyk, and Shia LaBeouf.
Will Smith was it?
Yes.
What the hell was Will Smith and Shia LaBeouf in together?
I, Robot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was a horrible movie.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
Well, all right, horrible might be a bit harsh, but it's not something I'm like, oh, remember in iRobot when they said that thing and did the other thing?
How about this?
No one does that.
July 17th, 1987.
If you say another Shia LaBeouf movie, I'm coming through the window, all right?
Directed by Paul Verhoeven, starring Peter Weller.
Starship Troopers. No. Oh, Peter Weller? Oh, RoboCop.
There you go.
I'd buy that for $1. And didn't we talk about last week? They're making a reboot of a reboot, though. Like this. This goes back to our earlier conversation about reboots. They got some rando who's rebooting and writing all the 80s stories. Why?
Okay, so this is not a reboot. It's a sequel.
Right. It's the same stinking smell, though.
It is, but they're not. They're ignoring the recent stuff that came out, and they're just following along the story.
Where his kid became a drug dealer. I know. That was weird. They went to a dark place with that one.
Right.
All right, what's next?
July 18th, 2006. Premiering on Sci-Fi, it's Eureka, which introduces us to the world's smartest little town.
Was it Sci-Fi back then and it became Sci-Fi later? I think it was Sci-Fi when Eureka was created.
Yes. Yeah, which my wife and I loved that show. It was really great.
It became the world's dumbest TV station.
True. But, we met, it's Colin Farrell.
No, he's really popular. I doubt you met him.
Well, Colin is his first name, and then Erica Sarah, who were the sheriff and deputy in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met him at DrenCon. All right, on the 20th of July, 1969.
They faked the moon landing. No.
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin become the first people on the moon aboard Apollo 11. And I mentioned that because...
As soon as you said 69.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it because of that First Man movie that's coming out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
Joe Parton put out a picture. He's like, bravo to all the people 49 years ago who kept their mouth shut about filming the the moon landing in a studio.
Yeah, 400,000 people who kept their mouths shut.
For 49 years. Good
on
you guys.
You want to do birthdays real quick?
Sure, quickly.
All right, on the 16th, Will Ferrell. Yay. On the 17th, David Hasselhoff.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Germany thanks whoever spawned Hasselhoff.
Yes. On the 18th, Vin Diesel.
Nice.
On the 19th, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Wow, there's lots of famous people.
Yeah. On the 20th, Dame Diana Rigg. You may know her as Olenna Tyrell from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
And on the 22nd, Willem Dafoe.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, look at that. July. All right, so let's say August, September, October. So
winter.
Wow. Okay, well, that explains a lot. People get busy in winter.
There you go.
All right. All right, what do we got going on next week? Do we have a clue? Are we planning anything?
Yeah.
We're at Mechacon.
We're at Mechacon. Our guests are going to be from Suzaku 7. Drew Blaylock is going to either come in or call in. I don't know yet. Okay. But they are promoting Gigi Edgley's show that's coming in August. So
cool.
That's what's going on next week. Come and see us at Mechacon, Hyatt Regency, New Orleans.
You are correct. All right, guys. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
Your new home for Walton and Johnson. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.